Welcome everybody to another edition of the Hurry Up. I'm your host, Adam. Let's get into this. So, we're going to have a two-segment show. One segment's going to be fired up. The other segment's just going to be some topics that I want to talk about. For example, Joe Burrow being elite. Somebody asked me that yesterday. Said, hey, is Joe Burrow an elite quarterback? Well, my friends, he's working his way towards that. He's second year in the league, okay? He's already thrown 4,100 yards, 30 touchdowns this season. 4,100 yards and 30 touchdowns. But we're still wondering if he's elite. 525 yards against a good Ravens defense. But he's not elite yet. He hasn't done anything, blah, 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 blah. Yet in this league, we make people elite after a one-game performance, but this guy is not elite yet. Give me a break. And you know why he's not elite? Because he plays for Cincinnati Bengals. And so everyone's like, oh, well, it's Joe Burrow. Like, look what he's done in 2 years. He's brought that team back. He had 500 yards, 4 touchdowns against the Ravens. And now you want to complain about whether or not he's elite. I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. I just am sick and tired of people, not watching football and saying he's not elite. I'm not saying he's elite. I am saying he's elite, but more I'm saying that he's on his way to being elite. The Bengals and the Bengal fans should be happy because they got a quarterback finally after that team had nobody. Oh, and by the way, Zach Taylor, I think that's the guy's name, inherited a team that couldn't find its own way. They went 0-16 and they cut a guy in Marvin Lewis and they lost and they were having troubles. Comes in, looks at the situation, pulls a few strings, and here we are. They draft Joe Burrow. They drafted a couple other guys to help them get there. They drafted Jamar Chase, who's had a pretty good season for them. And this is what you want out of a quarterback being first overall in that draft. Joe Burrow has proven it. He's doing it. And Bengal fans should be happy because they got a guy to watch with Mahomes and with Herbert and with Watson. They have a guy that they can hang their hat on and say, oh, you know what? We're going to have a guy that's in the Pro Bowl. We're going to have a guy that's fighting for division titles for us for the next decade. But let's get into the real segment. The fired up segment. Things that make me fired up. This is what makes me fired up, okay? Giant fans. So here we watched a crappy game last Sunday. Crappy game. Yes, people, this is exactly what we paid for when we signed a $72 million receiver. We signed him and said, you know what? We're not going to go to playoffs this year. Let's just be bad. It's okay. That's progress. See, here's the thing, people. In the NFL, you can go from worst to first in one season. The Giants spent money this offseason to try to get to the playoffs. And where are they? In the dumpster. Oh, but Adam, they're injuries, blah, blah, blah. Excuses. That's all we ever have. There are teams that have injuries, just as many injuries, if not more, than the Giants, and they continue to put on a fighting effort. Look at the Ravens, okay? Yes, they're struggling because their quarterback is out, but they are putting up points and they're fighting in every game. And they're on the outside of looking in of the playoffs where we should be, the Giants, but they're not. You know what the Giants are? Trying to fight for the top pick of the draft. Makes you wonder why you even won the Eagles game. And Joe Judge, let me get into this guy. It seems like Giant fans are delusional, drinking the Kool-Aid of loserness, okay? Because, we become such a losing franchise that we're happy with little moral victories. And don't give me this, oh, well, he scored a touchdown in garbage time. No, I'm done with that. Joe Judge needs to go. But why? Well, let's keep him. He's got an injured O-line. Okay, that is a fact. But so do other teams across the league. He's got this guy injured. He's got that guy. That doesn't mean you can't come up with a game plan to try to score touchdowns. I mean, you have Kadarius Toney out in this game, and you don't really use him. You throw him a couple passes. How about you do the reverse? Give the guy the ball in space. Let him make some moves. If you have a rookie quarterback, how about you lean on the run game a little bit? Oh, no. He throws a couple interceptions, one return for the touchdown, and then what do? We put in Mike Glennon. Mike Longneck Glennon. Mike, I shouldn't be in the NFL, Glennon. Heck, people are making fun of him. They call him making a Glennon, which is like going to the bathroom. That's how bad Glennon is. It's like going to the bathroom. Okay? And number 2, you know what I'm talking about, people. Hey, I gotta go take a Glennon. That's what he is, caca. But yet, the coach, who we want to bring back, because, well, God forbid we fire somebody after 2 years, because, you know, we're so worried about coaches after 2 years. Give me a break. Give me a winner in here. Give me a guy who's going to be competent. Give me a guy who's going to improve in the second season. Zach Taylor. I mean, give me a break. Oh, well, Dave Gettleman and this, that. Excuses. Oh, my God. So many excuses for this team. I can't even count them. Okay, so anyways, get back to Joe Judge. So Joe Judge takes out the kid, you know, because he's struggling. Of course he would. Of course he would struggle, right? Obviously he would struggle. We were hoping that he would show something, but he struggled. Maybe he was a little too jacked up for the game. I don't know. You have to ask Jake Fromm, okay? But then what does he do? He benches a kid for what reason? To bring in Mike Glennon for what? What is that going to do, coach? The 3-3 game. What's that going to do? Oh, Mike, you know what Mike Glennon did when he came in his first series? Fumbled the snap. Luckily, there was a penalty, so it didn't matter. But he fumbled the snap. His first snap in the game. Then, on 3rd and, 7, he throws it in the dirt to a wide open player. Guy was wide open. A high school quarterback could have made that throw. But I digress. You know? Let's keep Joe Judge around, because you know what? He has nothing to do with the game plans. He just lets his coordinators do it. And then when his coordinators fail, instead of taking the onus on him, he says, oh, well, you know, this, that, and the other thing, you know, struggling. No, Joe, it's on you. You're the CEO. You're the head coach. People forget about that. You're just as culpable as the quarterback. If the quarterback's getting blamed, guess who else is getting blamed? The head coach. And you know what happens when you get blamed? You know what happens when you make mistakes? You get fired. You get shipped off. But no, we're the New York Giants. We got to keep everything together. Our owner wants to see consistency. He got sold a bill of goods. Joe Judge is a used car salesman, okay? Then he sold us a lemon. That's what happened. We were like, oh, man, we love everything under the hood. We love what he's selling. You know, 60 minutes of football. Brrr. Yeah, well, it's more like 60 seconds. Once the whistle blows, that's it. They have 1 minute, and then boom, that team gives up. Oh, well, the defense played well. The defense collapsed because they knew the offense couldn't do anything. Second half, they just collapsed. Yeah, we want to bring this guy back. He's got to change his whole offensive system. We want to bring the guy back. The only unit that's doing well, and most organizations would do this. They would fire Joe Judge right now, and they would promote Patrick Graham to the head coach and say, listen, you got your defense balling. How about you try to make the whole team balling? Let's go. Your job to lose. But no. We want to probably promote Kevin Abrams and, you know, bring back Joe Judge because, oh, he sounds great and he looks great and he's cleaned up stuff behind the scenes. Is that results? That behind the scenes winning football games? Because no. Oh, and then, but what about the players that you enjoy watching? Like, you know, the Xavier McKinney's of the world and all the Andrew Thomases and I don't give a damn who he brings in. That's football. We're supposed to be rooting for players. That doesn't just justify that he comes back because he had a couple good drafts or a couple players in a draft that are performing. Give me a break. That's not how a team works. This is a results-oriented business. Results. You got teams like the Bengals who were garbage last year and are now fighting for first place. But yet we're the Giants and we're okay with regressing a year. We're on the doorstep of a 4-13 season, but that's progress. Let's bring it all the way back. You know, people, well, excuse. That's all I hear is excuse for him, Joe Judge, and excuses for Daniel Jones. You think Daniel Jones would have 4,100 yards and 30 touchdowns? We'd be calling him elite right now, but he's not. And we're still making excuses as to why. Same thing with Joe Judge. Sometimes you don't got it. When you're calling timeout, when your game management doesn't work, when your game plans suck and you keep running the same stuff out there. I understand your team stinks. Figure it out, Joe. You said, I want to play to a player's strength, not his weakness. Well, right now you're playing to everybody's weakness. And on top of that, you lost a few players. You sat Matt Pert the entire season, so you have no real game tape on him. And then he blows out his knee. And then you bring in Corey Cunningham, who you had off the bench, and he's playing. I mean, this team is a disaster. And it has Joe Judge's name written all over it, just like Dave Gettleman. But one's going, the other one's coming back. Why? Because John Mara wants continuity. Okay, so next year, if that guy goes 0-4, you going to let him ride out the season? He better win. There is no 9-8 and missing the playoffs. It's playoffs or bust for this guy. That's it. Playoffs or bust. Because this season, this offseason, whether people want to admit it or not, they brought in players to go to the playoffs. All I heard all season was, 12-5, 11-6, 10 and flipping 7. Give me a effing break. Give me an effing break. And if you're one of those people like me who believed this team had a chance to fight, great. That's what you believed in. Now this team completely had the bottom fall out. In the first few weeks, we knew it was going to be bad when Joe Judge goes, oh, well, the first 2 weeks are going to be like the preseason. No, Joe, that's not how this works. When teams are out running and they're 4-0, 3-1, you know what I mean? 2-2, they're at least fighting. Your team's 0-4 and your excuse is, well, we got to get to the playoff. We got to, work things out. Work things out. The team is still undisciplined. There's only one unit that plays hard. Okay? One unit that plays hard. You got a punter who shanks a ball and he yells at the linebacker who runs out of bounds. You're yelling at him after a shanked punt? Why are you not in Riley Dixon's ass yelling at him? Oh, but no. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. No, don't worry. Joe Judge has got this. Yeah, right. Give me a break. You should just fire him. Bring him a new GM with a new coach and let them evaluate the team top to bottom from outside the organization. Say, hey, John, sit your old ass down. I got this. And away we go. But no, you're going to try to force a dumb GM on him that doesn't even want this stupid coach. And he's dumb. He does dumb things. We fired Pat Shurmur for far less, and his teams were competent on offense. Their defense was struggling. They didn't even give a chance for Pat Shurmur to fire his defensive coordinator. They were like, you know what? You benched Eli. You went 4-12. You're out of here. See ya. But this guy gets another shot when his team is worse than Pat Shurmur's? Just think of that. Worse scoring than Pat Shurmur's. Oh, but Pat Shurmur lost the locker room. Did he really lose the locker room? Or did they know that the defense, did the people just were discouraged because they knew that they couldn't win a game because their defense couldn't hold up anything? I don't know about you. But all I know is 6-10 is better than 4-13. I know. I mean, I'm not a math major or anything like that. But when you have 6 wins over 4 wins, I'll take the 6 over the 4. That's progress. If Joe Judge navigated some wins out of this 11-game losing streak and they played closer, I could say progress. Guess what? 8 out of the 11 losses are by double digits. Let that sink in for a minute. 8 out of the 11 losses are double digits. Hey, but they play hard for them. Oh, but it's the offensive line. Your game plan, Joe. Your game plan. This is on you. You got to show me something. You're showing me nothing. And then you're trying to go out there at the end of the press conferences and be like, yeah, we're okay. We've got players play. Who cares? Players supposed to play hard. This is the NFL. People across the league are watching your tape. If you go out there and you half-ass it, what do you think they're going to do when they bring your tape in for resume? When they're watching you. Oh, let's bring in Adam because, he was dogging it on that Giants team, but he'll be good for us. No, he probably is going to dog it for you. Just let that sink in. 11 losses, 8 out of those 11 are by double digits. Double digits. But hey, it's progress. This has been the Hurry Up with your host Adam, the segment of Fired Up. I am fired up about Joe Judge. I'm hoping he gets the axe. He probably won't because John Mara is soft and thinks this guy is brilliant and wants to give him another year. So, Giant fans, You're in store for another year of Joe Judge, and when he comes out in the middle of camp, and guys are dropping like flies and don't want to play for him because he's running them ragged, progress. 4-13. See you next time, folks.